we go. All right, kids, let's talk about it. The 2011 from Triarc. This is a personal gun. This is not a demo gun sent to me by Triarc. This is a gun that I've had for about a year and a half now. Now, as a point of pride, I will tell you that I bought this before Triarc started getting really like mainstream popular, before they started becoming a cool kids brand. And I mean that in no negative way. I think they are a cool kids brand, but I actually just think they're really cool. Now, most of you, when you think 2011, you're going to think STI, because that's the still to date the main name in the space. There's also Triarc, a little bit more of a newer, more not necessarily niche, just lesser known compared to the bigger name of STI. And then there's some smaller players like Atlas, Akai, and if you're really going ninja shit, Infinity or SVI. Someone please explain to me why the same company has two names. I can't tell you, right? Now, I would be the first to tell you this. If I said, hey, look, I've got $7,000 for a 2011 right now, what do I want? Give me an Infinity. The only problem with it is it's going to take a couple years to get, which you just have to know going in. And, you know, you're looking at like 6-7 bills versus about 3 on this. And as someone who loves cool, fancy guns, I'll be the first to tell you, having shot $6,000-$7,000 2011s and having shot this, there's a big part of me that goes, why would I want one of those if I could literally take the same cash and get 2 of those? And that's about 50. Okay, so true to self, I start melting down around 50 yards. 50, I find my threshold. 1911 guys, 2011 guys, one of the things they love to brag about is it's so much more accurate. Yes, you have a more accurate gun because you're going to have tighter tolerances. But let's be honest. When we brag about this is so much more accurate than a Glock, are you really shooting this to its maximum potential? AKA, could I hit a Glock 19 at 50 yards? Yeah. Could I do it just as easily with a 19 versus a 5-inch 2011? Probably, right? So when we get it on our high horse a little bit about superior accuracy, sure, but is the shooter really capable of utilizing that accuracy? All right, that's about 60. Right, so that's about 60. The argument for me, if it's an accuracy play of why I want this versus a Glock, to me, is the benefit in the trigger. There is, for those of you who run Glocks, right, you know that slop that's in the beginning. On a 2011, or at least on a Triarc 2011, that's it. That's all you got. There is virtually no take-up. And even that little take-up, there's a really distinct wall. And that wall is very nice. And with that flat trigger, it's very easy to find and just get that round off. The trigger on this, I don't know. I'm gonna guess it's roughly 3 pounds, 3.5. It's light. So my Triarc is again, for people who just don't know 1911s or 2011s, there's government size, which is this 5-inch barrel. And then there's Commander. Commander's 4 1/4, and then there's Defender officer stuff, but really no one shoots that unless you're like 67 or so. So that's a 5-inch 2011. The benefit, you got a longer barrel, so you're gonna be more accurate. The downside, you're probably not carrying that just because it's not particularly heavy, because the whole frame isn't steel, unlike a 1911, but it's a long barrel. This is probably not going to feel real good, especially if you're carrying appendix and this thing, you know, depending on what your situation is down here, like this could cause problems. You know what I'm saying? If you're a Glock guy, you might be a 9mm Glock guy who runs a comp on the end of his gun. What do you say about a Glock guy who's running a comp on his 9mm? You don't say particularly nice things about him, but That's just me. I'm not a Glock guy. I'm a 2011 guy. I'm a 1911 guy. The benefit of these, I don't need a comp, and the gun stays incredibly, the gun just stays incredibly flat. Usually when someone who's used to shooting Glocks grabs a 2011 and they shoot it, they typically have the same comment, which is, well, that's just not fair. That's just not fair. They're almost annoyed that they don't have this and they're shooting a Glock, unless you're using a comp, in which case you're a comped Glock guy. And Triarc sends these with a minimal magwell. It's very subtle, but you will see even a slow shooter like me can hit reloads at a somewhat, at least respectable speed. I would not say fast, but I would say not slow enough to get laughed off the range. You're really not gonna get any printing issues from that magwell. It's gonna be very subtle, right? It's not adding a lot of, I don't know, girth on the grip of this gun, but you do really get the benefit. You can see there how that's shaved, and that really helps you when you're hitting that. You'll see how that round just slides off that magwell right into the gun. So when they ship guns, you may have a choice on this, I'm not sure, but I believe definitely standard Triarc ship with black rear sight, no tritium, no dots, none of that, with a nice ledge for one-handed manipulations. And I'm sure all of you will know what I'm referring to there, so we won't go into that. This is a nice thing though, because if you look at, I'd say what it's probably the dominant rear sight in the industry, it's that slanted Novak sights that I just can't stand, because what's the advantage? Like there's no advantage. I don't get why people send nice guns with that shit sight on it. Not a bad sight, but definitely if you shoot and train and rack slides off shit, it's not what you're looking for. And they send it with a fiber optic front sight. I believe you could probably specify what color you want that fiber front to be. But, you know, it's the age-old debate. Do I want tritium? Do I want fiber? I don't know. Can't answer that. It's a personal decision. I will say that the way these sights are laid out, it is really nice and easy to pick up that front sight. So all the Triarc's cool thing too. I mean, this is pretty standard if you're getting, you know, high-end gun these days, but front cocking serrations, because let's just be honest, you look way cooler when you do this versus do this. You kind of look like weak and frail when you press check a gun back here. When you do it up here, fucking John Wick shit, right? That's what I'm saying. So I do like the front serrations. You get some good traction there. These ship, I believe, standard with Seracote. Now they've got some other options. Mine is Seracoted, and after a year and a half, you can get a real sense for how this is holding up. The only areas really where you're gonna get some wear is gonna be up here by the muzzle. You're gonna catch a little bit of holster wear, nothing dramatic, little just along the frame here where it's brushing against Kydex. But overall, honestly, that Seracote has held up very well. And they've got some options. You can do TIN on the barrel. I believe they've got some nitride options. So you can do different stuff. If I was doing it all over again, I would probably get a different finish. Not that I don't like this. I would just get something that's a tad bit more durable. For guys who've never shot this stuff, you don't get how enjoyable these are to shoot. Like there's some guns that when you go, it's time to shoot, you could have 10 Glocks and one of these and you go, I just never shoot the 10 Glock. Why would I shoot that if I could have one of these? And let's be honest, a lot of you guys have got multiple $1,500 to even $2,500 Glocks. Personally, I'd dump one or two of those things in a heartbeat and pick up something like that. It's a no-brainer. The only downside, I would say one little downside of these is you're probably gonna have some accessories costs that you're not used to. But one downside if you're a Glock guy and you go out and you get something like this, well, you're probably not stocked up on mags yet, right? Because you're a Glock guy. So you're gonna have to go get, let's say 3 training mags. Maybe, fortunately the gun ships with 2, so you're gonna have 2 that are 17 round mags. you probably want to go get a couple of 20s. You know, these MBXs I'm shooting, these are 2021 rounds. You're going to want a couple of those, or STI 20 round mags. And it's not cheap. So the accessory cost is going to add up a little bit, but really minus mags, that's the only accessory cost. But you do have to factor in, you're going to drop a few $100 on mags. It's just the reality of it. Another thing that I would note that is very uncommon today is a low lead time. And I'm going to preface with this: lead times constantly change because you get an influx of business, or this political event that happened that sent us back 3 months. A lot of things can change. But I will tell you this: when I bought this gun, I had it inside of 2 weeks. I'm not saying you're going to get your 2011 in 2 weeks if you go buy one right now. I do know the Triarc runs quite a bit faster than a lot of some of the other either full custom or what I would call semi off-the-shelf custom manufacturers. A lot of those guys get 3 months to a year behind. I had that in 2 weeks. That is an absurdly fast lead time for a high-end product in modern era gun world. Not saying you're gonna get it in 2 weeks. I'm saying mine was very, very, very quick. And I'll point out one other thing. Drives me nuts. If you get a nice 2011 or 1911 and it doesn't come with an ambi safety, how dare you? You just took $3,000 of my dollars and you had a righty only safety? That's called racism, because I'm a lefty and I'm a redhead, right? So shame on you guys. Throw an ambi on there. Just because I'm a lefty, lefties' lives matter, okay? Put an ambi safety on the damn gun. It costs you a little bit more, but you know what? I need this. I'm a lefty. This is not a preference, this is a necessity. And frankly, as a right-handed shooter, I would want that too, because most people I know who really shoot a lot, they're bouncing back and forth between different grips. And the ability, no matter what hand you shoot with, to be able to run that safety, in my opinion, should be a stock option if you're dropping over $2,000 on a gun. Point being, this was not an upgrade. That is the stock safety that comes with my 2011. My final thoughts on Triarc. Here's the way I think about Triarc, is they're the new STI, a new and improved STI. What STI used to do, Triarc now does, but I believe they do a better job out of it. If you were right now in the market for a 2011, and you said, I want a nice 2011, if you send me a message and you say, I just bought a Rock Island 2011, so I know about good 2011s, get the fuck out my face. If you were entering the market for a nice 2011 right now, you have to come to terms with the fact that you're gonna drop minimally $2,500 up to about $7,000 to even $8,000 on that gun. If you were going low middle end on the price, which is not to suggest that the quality is a reflection of the price, I would personally get a Triarc, and I would not hesitate to tell you that. I can say that because I've been a customer for a year and a half. It's my gun. I know I owe no allegiance to anyone. Paid full price for it. And I would tell you all day that I would get this. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel while you're here. Maybe like, leave us a comment. If you leave us a nasty comment or you leave us a thumbs down, that might be the lowest form of human interaction these days. Who leaves a thumbs down on a YouTube video? But subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, Outspoke, Full30.com, 1911 Syndicate. It's very simple. If you're a podcaster, you just like listening to audio in your car, you can search the Syndicate Minutes on Apple, Google, Spotify, and you can always find us on Instagram, Facebook, all those good things. Just search 1911 Syndicate, and we'll hang out. Come on, we'll hang out with each other online. Let's become friends. Come on, just do it. Go, do it now. Fucking god damn it, Utah bugs. The barrel